Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and for today's video I'm going to be talking about the mistakes that you want to avoid while door dashing. Now you may be wondering, what are these mistakes? Well, for today's video I'm going to be going over 4 different mistakes that you could be able to avoid to better be able to have some nicer shifts and to be able to have everything going smoothly. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. So I have that the first mistake is going in with the wrong attitude. Now, this doesn't necessarily just apply to DoorDash only. This can apply to anything within life. If you do anything with the wrong attitude, it'll make a lot of things feel more difficult. It'll make the days feel longer. It'll seem like a lot of times things won't necessarily go exactly how you want them to be planned. But if you could be able to shift this mindset and attitude, then it can not only help a whole bunch of different life circumstances to go better for you, but it can also help even with DoorDash shifts. And whenever you're able to be more content and you're able to be in a happier state, at least to the best of your ability, then this can allow for everything to flow. And normally when this is the case, then you'll realize, everything seems to be going in my favor. A lot of things seem to be flowing easily and just on time. Mistake number 1 that you want to avoid is to not have the wrong attitude while doing this. For my second tip, I basically have accepting terrible orders. Now, a lot of us have been here before. I would say especially as a new dasher, a lot of new dashers can make this mistake. But really the main thing is that we don't want to accept any orders that are deemed as upside down orders or super low paying orders. And you may wonder, well, why exactly the low paying orders? So for example, you can have an order that's like $2.50 for 1 mile. Yes, it's more than the mileage, but more than likely, if the pay is that low, you're typically dealing with the customer that's either a low tipping or no tipping customer. Not that every customer that isn't able to tip has been bad or anything like that, but according to some door dashers, it seems that customers that tend to fall within this line can oftentimes potentially be more difficult customers. So these will be some of the customers that you'll hear about in predicaments where door dashers end up getting deactivated, or they may get reported for different stuff that wasn't even their fault. So in order to be able to prevent more of these type of things from potentially happening, you just want to try to not accept those type of orders as much as you possibly can. The only exceptions to being able to accept, for example, like an upside down order, is if it's either headed back to your destination that you're planning on going to begin with, or it's heading into another zone where there's a bunch of restaurant clusters and you could be able to continually make money as you're on the move. But yeah, guys, you don't want to accept terrible orders. That's the second mistake that's on my list. For the third mistake that's on my list, I have not utilizing the late avoidance feature. Now, this is something that I don't hear touched on too often. Some people will have the tendency to get quite a bit of late orders, which of course is not their fault. A lot of times it could be the restaurants just getting the food out a bit later, or even if some of the restaurants get the food out on time, just unfortunately running into traffic or different detours along the way. So really the reason why I have this as the third mistake is because quite a bit of door dashers don't realize that there's actually a little feature within the app where you could be able to go down. All you have to do is pretty much scroll down to the bottom. When you click on the words at the bottom, it should have an option where it says orders like still being prepared or something along those lines. And pretty much when you run into a restaurant and you're uncertain about the time frame with them being able to get the order out, or in most cases they just don't have the order ready to begin with, then you could be able to hit that and DoorDash won't dock you for having the order late if it is a little bit late. So that's the third mistake that I have. And then the fourth and final mistake that I have written down within my notes is not keeping up with the completion rate. Now, as far as with this, quite a bit of us, it could be easy to like accept an order, or sometimes we may accept it by accident, and then we realize, oh, this isn't necessarily the type of order that I was expecting, or there was some type of misunderstanding within that. So then a lot of times you'll have it to where us DoorDashers will unassign an order, right? But of course, if you unassign an order, that's making your completion rate go down. Now, are there valid times to be able to unassign an order? Of course, there are plenty of different times where you would be able to utilize it, but the main thing is you just want to be able to keep track of the percentage, because if it goes down too low, then it gets to the point to where you can ultimately get deactivated, and that's what none of us want. So yeah, guys, that's the fourth tip that I was able to put down, my fourth and final tip. So if y'all have any other tips that y'all could be able to think of that y'all have either run into or that y'all feel would be useful to mention, feel free to comment it down below. And yeah, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed the video and was able to learn something new. But other than that, have a great rest of your day, guys, and good luck with making money out there. God bless.